A lot of you guys out there and girls, a lot of us have been put through the ringer in dating. A lot of us aren't even dating anymore at all, which I wouldn't blame you necessarily if you aren't. But I just wanted to talk about something real quick, which is sex. You know, it's an old school dating advice to not have sex too early, especially not like on the first date or the first couple dates or whatever. And ultimately, here's the insight that just hit me while I was driving, was that really the other person in any sort of potential dating interaction, whether it's you met this, y'all, a conversation struck up in person, whether it's online, whatever, an old person that you knew in the past trying to reconnect, the question that needs to be asked when it seems like a person is just after sex, that you need to ask this person to give you a good reason as to why. And they should have a really compelling reason. They should be able to write you a minimum of a paragraph and probably like 3 full paragraphs on why it makes sense for you to. If they can't answer that question with something that makes any sort of coherent sense to you, then they're done, right? Because there's nobody out here that should be on the first date. Look how bad the state of dating is right now. You think on the first date is going to fix that? It makes zero. It didn't make sense to begin with. It didn't make sense to begin with, and now it makes even less sense to anybody, given the state and the success rates in dating. Let's say you are gonna. Let's say a hotel is somehow planned for the first date. If the hotel comes up at all, you should be in a different hotel probably, because there's no reason you should be having sex without both of you being able to answer that question as to why should you do it right now. And then here's a different way you can ask that question as well, because a lot of times the sex isn't actually mentioned, but instead what takes place is the date is either planned to end at somebody's house or hotel, or it just ends up sort of naturally leading there. And the question then needs to be, why are we going to my house? Why should we go to my house? Why should we go to your house? Why should we go to a hotel? And if they can't answer this question, right? Because sex is not an option. It's not an acceptable answer. Why are we going there? This is key. This is key.